thought I'd take a minute to talk about my current thoughts. It's about Bitcoin. When Bitcoin first came out, I looked into it and I thought, wow, this sounds like a great idea. And it was an idea by people very like me, intended to solve some very serious problems with money. And, we're going to decentralize it. We're going to take the government control away. We're going to set it up so that ordinary people can have money, and you can mine it with a computer by having it do calculations, and there's going to be a set amount. There was a lot to do with Bitcoin that sounded really good. And I looked into it, and I immediately noticed that I didn't have a hope in hell of buying even a single Bitcoin. You buy them in fractions. I didn't have that kind of money. I wasn't going to have that kind of money. So I continued to look into, what would it take to get Bitcoin. Here was something that I thought, it's black market. You can buy all kinds of things with Bitcoin, and nobody knows what you're doing. And so time passes. Bitcoin only gets more and more expensive. I keep paying attention to it, especially lately, because Dan's been going on about it, which means that Fox News is going on about it, because everything that Dan goes on about, he's getting from Fox News. He doesn't formulate his own thoughts, as far as I can tell. He parrots the thoughts of the talking heads to whom he listens, and from what I can tell, that's Fox News. That gives me more than a little pause. Fox News likes Bitcoin? Can't be good. I mean, if there's ever been a disreputable news agency that promotes the interests of the capitalists, it's been Fox News. So then I'm seeing other signs. The guys that are into Bitcoin are very into high adrenaline, high testosterone behavior. They're very aggressive. They're very profit-driven, and they're greedy people. They're people where money is the most important concern, Your feelings, I can't eat your feelings. Money can buy me happiness, that kind of people. Well, anytime you see those kind of people involved in something, turn and run the other way unless you genuinely are one of them. Because they don't give a damn about anything else. They just don't. They don't care about your medical needs. They don't care about your children's needs. They don't care about your problems. They just have no other concerns except profit, and your only value to them is how you can bring them profit. So that, more than anything, has me saying, there's something going on with this Bitcoin. And they say that by 2040, all Bitcoin will have been mined. But then in order to try and ensure that, they make the problems that the Bitcoin mining. Quick rundown. You set up a bunch of extremely expensive computers that waste a lot of electricity and time and important rare earth resources, calculating difficult math problems which, in theory, help science, but in practice maybe are just difficult math problems with absolutely no need behind them. They use a lot of resources, and as Bitcoin becomes more as people set up more servers, the math problems are made more difficult so that it's more difficult for those servers. So as time passes, it becomes more and more difficult for a non-wealthy person to do any Bitcoin mining. So now you have to find someone who's willing to trade you Bitcoin for your services or goods. So now you have to take Bitcoin without any assurance that there's anywhere that you can spend it. And that's the other thing. There's a few small cafes and restaurants here and there, and the odd travel agency. There's a few odd places that will take Bitcoin, but for the most part, you're not going to be able to pay the rent, the utilities, or go to the grocery store with it. So it's like an RRSP. You stick the money in, and you can play with the numbers, but you're not going to get anything out of it unless it pays off like a slot machine. So again, that's another reason not to trust Bitcoin. It's something that doesn't pay off, actually. It's just another way to take your hard labor-earned rewards and turn them into nothing. And turn them into vaporware, like just numbers on a screen that aren't going to serve you. My glove's got a leak in it. My hand's wet. They're not going to serve you in the least. So Bitcoin seems to me like a scam, like the ultimate Ponzi scheme. P.T. Barnum said there's a sucker born every minute, but I think these days there's 5 suckers born every minute or worse. I think I'm married to one, actually. And I think Bitcoin is one of the biggest sucker schemes going. And perhaps the guys who invented it had good intentions, but they have since been replaced by guys that have bad intentions. Now think about it. Right now, if you have some cash in your hand, it's fiat money, I know, but it's still a physical material that you can carry around in your pocket and that has no records. Okay, you can walk up to the guy on the street. You can buy his coat. You can buy his car. You can buy his hat. You can buy his wallet. If you give him enough money, you could just walk up to complete strangers, give them money, receive things from them, and nobody knows the transaction went down except the 2 people who exchanged the cash for goods. Those are the only people that know the transaction went down. And there are a lot of reasons why a person might want to be able to do those kind of transactions. Reasons of freedom, reasons of defying unjust laws, reasons of just keeping your business to yourself. When you use a credit card or a debit card, everything is logged in a computer. When you use Bitcoin, everything is logged in a computer. What the capitalists want is for your every single transaction to be logged in a computer. Then they can track you and trace you and do as they please, which is generally at this point to target more advertising. But if the wrong tyrannical powers rise, as they're trying so hard to do, they'll be able to use it to accuse you of things and condemn you to free labor, to slavery, aka prison, for as long as they like, over something as spurious as having bought puppy from someone on the corner. That kind of thing. We're going to be resorting to barter trade to avoid being logged and tracked for every little thing we do. Now, for the most part, being logged and tracked really isn't a problem, and I don't generally mind it. And I know they're targeting advertising at me, and I don't care about that either. But a citizenry is only as free as its ability to defy an unjust law. And these tyrants know that, and so they're trying to remove from us all of the little ways that we have to defend ourselves from unjust laws. And that includes switching us from physical money to digital currency. And they're doing it by every means possible. This is not a let's do this. This is a let's do this, and that. This is a shotgun approach. Some of us are fully onto credit cards. Some of us are 100% on debit cards. For those rebels in the crowd, we've got Bitcoin, and we're going to sell it to you as a rebellious act, but you're actually going to get off that physical money. That's what Bitcoin is in my mind. And I know this primarily by the nature of the people that are involved in Bitcoin. They're avaricious, they're competitive, they're self-centered, they're assertive and aggressive people. No good can come of it. If we really want to change the world, we have to stop using money. We have to stop using accounting. We have to stop using numbers to value everything. Instead of saying, this thing I'm selling you, like that baby cakes over there in the background, I'm selling it for $10. Instead, I would just take it to the free pile and set it down at the free pile in town and take what I needed from the free pile. And that's what the future has to hold if we really want to be free. Where we have free stores in every city and everything shows up at the free store. Big flea market where everybody brings everything they don't need, everything they've produced, and takes everything that they need and everything that's been produced. That's ultimately where this has to go if you really want to be free. Bitcoin's not going to set you free.